Welcome, everyone, to this episode of the Mortgages by Gretchen show, where I talk to real people in the field of real estate and business who are not only experts, but they're generous and willing to share their knowledge and their wisdom with us here today. And the goal of the show is for you, as the audience, to gain some information and tips to help you reach your goals in owning real estate and to take some of the guesswork out of what to do or who to call when you are in the process. And today I have Ian Sanchez with me. Ian is an agent with Allstate Toronto Danforth, specializing in home and auto insurance. And Ian and I met when he did a cold call, called me, I answered the call, and he told me about his insurance products. And I found Ian to be extremely knowledgeable, friendly, and very passionate about helping people with the right products and good products for what they needed. And he had a good understanding as well of what challenges people are facing and what they really need to know when getting insurance. So I was very eager to get to know him better and work together and have him be on the show. So thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for inviting me here.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
so so Gretchen and I was actually calling around some streets in my mom's neighborhood, and then I searched up one of the streets, and her name popped up, and I gave her a call. I thought she still lived there, so she told me she no longer lives there. And then that's pretty much how we met, and we had a great time talking to each other. Gave it a little bit of introduction, and yeah, here we are.
Perfect. And give a little more background about what you do and who you work with.
Yeah, so again, my name is Ian Sanchez. I'm an insurance agent at Allstate, specifically at the Toronto Danforth location. I specialize in home and auto. We do offer like life insurance, commercial insurance, but not specifically us at Allstate. We are partnered with for life insurance, we're partnered with Sun Life. For commercial insurance, we're partnered with iVantage. And couple weeks back, actually, we did the bridal show, and we were representing PAL because they recently have a new product for the wedding insurance. Basically, covers them for the liability insurance for the venue that they're renting, damages or loss to the bridal gown, the rings, their deposits, and things like that. That's what we work with. My backstory: I've always worked with customer service for pretty much all my life. And it's always been a passion of mine to meet and exceed my customers' expectation. And I wanted to put that passion in another level. A friend of mine told me about the opportunity at Allstate, and I thought it was a good opportunity for me to put that passion into a new level. And that's why I'm here.
That's excellent. And that tip about bridal insurance, I did not know that. And most people probably
Mhm.
didn't know you can get bridal insurance.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, it's actually something new to us that started this year, actually.
Okay. Good to
Mhm.
know. So what is kind of your backstory? You said a friend introduced you to insurance. Did you have
Yeah.
other experiences before that, or you just liked what your friend was doing?
It was in terms of the industry. I've never this like working here is my first time being in the industry. So I always say it's like my first big boy job because any other job before this one is like just customer service, helping out with like their memberships, their products that they want to get and stuff like that. Nothing too big, like as working as insurance.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And so maybe tell a little more about the products and how they benefit. I mean, I guess specifically like homeowners and home buyers.
Yep.
And I don't know if you offer anything specific to entrepreneurs, since that's something we also listeners, some are entrepreneurs, but if that's not part of what you do, homeowners and
Yeah.
home buyers.
Yeah, so again, I do a lot of homes. We have three different products for home insurance. We have the basic, the elite, the VIP. Starting with the VIP, both the dwelling, the structure itself, and the contents are both covered from pretty much any uncontrollable events other than war, terrorism, earthquake, which we have a separate coverage for earthquake, and exposure to radioactivity. And it goes down from there with elite, same coverage but only for the dwelling. The contents inside the home won't be covered with from vandalism and theft. And then you have the basic, which both the dwelling and the contents won't be covered from vandalism and theft. We do have features for our products as well, like disappearing deductible. Basically, for every year you don't make a claim, your deductible goes down by $100. This goes for the auto as well. And then we have something called claim satisfaction guarantee, because Allstate, we pride ourselves with our claims department. And if you are unhappy with the claims, send us an email, send us like a letter and what happened and things like that, and we will, depending on the situation, Allstate will refund you for the whole year premium for that year. And then we have a separate coverage for our water damage, because we have the basic one, and our enhanced water damage protection is one of the most comprehensive coverages in the industry. Basically, other than covering the damages caused by water going into the home, whether it's from the basement walls, from the floors, from the ceiling, it also covers you for. Oh, sorry. It also covers you up to $10,000 worth of expense to repair and replace the like any damaged service lines around your property, and up to $1,000 towards installing a backflow valve and sump pump, in terms of making that claim.
Okay.
Yeah,
So that's quite a lot.
yeah,
And I guess one thing that I hear about doing the mortgage side, and the lenders, of course, require that
yeah.
people get the insurance. Do you have any challenges getting people insured with private mortgages? Because I know occasionally that
We
can come up.
You mean like instead of like from a bank?
Yes. So yeah, like just
We are
getting private.
actually, yeah, so we at Allstate actually one of the few companies that still insures a home even if it's a private mortgage.
And that's important.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. And do you do, I think you mentioned when we talked before about like knob and tube or something, different types of,
Yes,
um,
so that's something that you wanna keep an eye out. Usually older homes, most of the times these are like century homes where their electrical their electrical is not up to date, basically. So there is something called knob and tube. Basically, the wire goes through like a hole on the what do you call it, the joist, I guess. Um,
mhm.
it's a little dangerous because it's exposed really close to the wood. If anything happens, house could burn down. Nowadays, it's all copper. It's all like separate. It doesn't go through the wood anymore and things like that. So it's a little safer because of the updates now.
Mm.
Yeah.
And
So
there
it's
there is this is a mortgage thing, but there is like purchase plus improvements. So if you find that there's something about maybe the electrical or whatever that
mhm,
you want to update, you can borrow the funds to do that and be add those to the mortgage and then get the work done after closing. So
yeah,
that sometimes if the lender or the insured isn't happy with something, that can be
yeah,
addressed.
yeah,
So that's good.
yeah.
Yeah. How would you compare your products to others? Is there any specific comparisons you could mention?
That's pretty much like the features that we have is something that not a lot of companies offer, like this discipline deductible. Not everybody offers that. The claim satisfaction guarantee, because again, we want to make sure our customers are happy when they make a claim. They're getting the right amount, or they're getting the right fixes and things like that for their home, for their car. We want to make sure our customers are happy, and we want to keep them as much as we can. And same thing with our water damage coverage. It's one of the most comprehensive coverages here in the industry. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy with those.
That's really important because my parents have had two homes that had so much water damage for very couple
Yeah.
of different reasons that they had to move out and renovate for months. So
hmm
that's really important.
Especially if you live closer to a body of water as well. Um, Most of the times, houses located closer to the lake, let's say, their water damage coverage is a little more expensive, and it makes sense because if there's heavy rain, chances are it goes back into the unit, into the home, and damages the property, right? So
Yeah, but
usually it goes by
I,
statistics.
well, in their case, one was because of faulty construction of their new home,
Mm.
and water was coming in via the roof, like it wasn't properly insulated, and it was
Oh
coming
no.
in through the roof. And then the other home, it was because of they were not in town. It's a cottage site or second home, and the
Ah,
water
yeah.
burst, a pipe burst. so they weren't there
Yeah.
to find out. So
Hmm.
anyway, yeah, that's really important.
Yeah.
Um, are there any insurance myths that you can demystify?
This is actually really good. I'm guilty for this one as well. A lot of people say the longer I stay with my insurance company, the cheaper my rates will be. That is actually not the case.
Okay.
It's especially with auto. The reason why your rates would go down is because, let's say you started this year and then next year your rates go down. That's because you have 1 year more experience with your license and 1 year more experience with your insurance. So that would be the reason why it would go down. But most of the times it does go up because of we look at other things like the location, the demographics, the type of model it is. So if those three things, let's say, doesn't change, your rate would go down because you have more experience.
Okay.
The other thing is like the color of your car. A lot of people say red cars are more expensive to insure, but it's not the case.
That's not true. Well, that's good to know. If I ever in a trivia contest, I'll know that answer.
Exactly.
Okay, good to know those things.
Yeah.
What would be your top three tips that you want to share with people needing insurance?
Tips, especially with your auto, always try to pay your monthly fee. Most companies, like us at Allstate, we take a deductible, not a deductible, sorry, a down payment for your policy. Most companies don't take a down payment, and those companies that don't take a down payment, if you missed a payment for, especially for your auto, um, they they'll automatically cancel your policy, and especially with your auto, if this happens, any insurance history you had prior to that happening will no longer be considered. So up from that on, if you go for a different company, let's say, you're pretty much quote unquote considered as a new driver. And that just means your insurance rate would go up because you have
That's
zero
painful.
experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have no idea how many times I've seen this happening, and then I have to give them the bad news. Some people have been driving for, let's say, 20 years, and they have a one non-payment, and they have to have zero experience at that point.
Wow.
Yeah,
So the down payment issue kind of means they can there's a
exactly.
cushion there.
Exactly. You have like that 30-day period to pay any missed payments or any owing balance. But yeah, that's the reason why we have the down payment, right? The second tip I would give is, those times where you get into a small accident and the person says, "Oh, just give me $200 and we won't go through insurance." That is very risky because they can take your money, but they can still claim on their insurance. And your insurance company does not necessarily be able to see that claim. So if you were to move to a different company, let's say, they'd be able to see that claim that the third person make, and then that means that they have one at-fault accident.
Wow.
And that usually at-fault accident increases your rate by quite a bit. I believe it's like around 75%. So it's a huge, huge, huge increase in your rate. I've had a couple of clients where they tell me, "Oh, I know I don't have any accidents or anything like that." And I tell them, "Oh, do you remember what happened on this day?" And they said, "Oh, that was a minor accident." The person said we were not gonna go through our insurance, but the person did. So he got the
Wow.
money and he still claimed the the damage. So it's I would probably watch out every time that happens to you.
Yeah.
I would probably say just make the claim just in case. If it's a minor accident and you are willing to pay for your damages, most of the times the insurance company don't charge you for a minor claim if it's like less than $1,000 and you pay out of your own pocket. Some insurance
Okay.
companies don't charge it as an at-fault accident.
That's good to
But
know.
every company is different, so just watch out for that basically.
Okay.
And the final tip I would give is always shop around. Um, Even if you get a good rate from one company, let's say, you don't know if another company has a better rate because insurance companies have different rates on certain locations. So let's say Allstate has a good rate on this location, and maybe Bel Air has a better rate on that specific location. So you wanna make sure you wanna shop around.
Okay. That's very good advice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes people just, "Oh, I just don't feel like it, but it's
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah. And it's like the first the first one that they see that's cheaper than what they have, and then they go for it. But you never know. You might find somewhere else that's cheaper.
Yeah. And I think, like you said too, you have to be careful about the features of the product, and
Yeah.
it might cost you less per month, but it could cost you a lot more in the end, right? So
Yeah.
you have to
Exactly.
really
Exactly.
understand and have someone explain it to you properly.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. People are sometimes concerned about whether their claim will be accepted, and if they're going to end up getting money from a claim.
Hmm.
How do you Any thoughts about that, or how do you handle that concern? Oh, Ian, my screen has frozen.
So I don't know what happened. Oh, sorry, my internet just dropped out a bit there.
That's okay. Mine did too, but
Yeah,
we're
sorry.
back.
Yeah,
It's
so what was
snowing
that?
out. I don't know if that's a factor, but we're good
Okay.
now.
That's probably it. Yeah,
So
so
sorry,
what
did
was
you
the
hear the
question?
question about people are concerned about whether the claims would be accepted? I don't know if you want to.
Yeah. So again, every insurance company, every insurance product is different. Always talk to your either broker or agent, and they have those information for you. Let them know what happened, and they can tell you whether it's something that you can put a claim on. With auto, it's a little easier, just because it's plain and simple. If it's an at-fault accident or if it's not an at-fault accident, and whether or not you have to pay for it or whether or not you don't have to pay for it. In terms of house insurance, that's where it's a little more complicated because every product is different. Um, Again, you want to talk to your agent and see what features you have on there, what optional coverages you have on there, and yeah, it's always best to talk to them.
Okay. And
Yeah.
when home buyers are getting their home insurance, what would you say to look out for, or what should they consider? What kind of advice?
The couple of things they need to look out for is the age of the home. Like you said, the knob and tube wiring. They want to look out for that because a lot of insurance companies, everybody don't, I think nobody insures any houses that has knob and tube anymore, just because of how risky it is. The
So you
age of
might
the
want
water.
to tell the seller to update it before you buy the house.
Exactly, exactly. You want to know how old the house is, or if it's been fully renovated, or at least the interior walls have been gutted out and replaced. Um, You want to make sure that's been done. The water heating tank, how old it is, how old the roof is. These are usually the questions I ask my clients whenever I'm going through insurance with them. And if there's a fireplace as well, whether it's gas or electric. Usually electric and gas fireplace, we don't give you a surcharge for it, but wood fireplace, that's when it's a little more risky. So we give you a surcharge for that. And again, the location, whether or not it's close to a body of water, because it's a little more expensive because of the water damage, risk of water damage coverage.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right. So that's good to know, all of those things.
Yeah.
Um, okay. What would be your last piece of advice for Canadians right now
Last
in
piece of advice.
2023?
um, because of COVID, a lot of people are affected with their jobs and things like that. So you want to find the cheapest rate and always shop around. Again, going back to what I said earlier, different companies have different rates for specific location, specific model of car, and things like that. So you want to shop around for sure. Um, And finally, find a broker and agent that cares, not just trying to get your service, your business, but someone that actually cares, someone that can actually educate you on the coverage that you have and actually go through the coverages with you before actually selling you the product. Because those are, I'd say, the best type of people that you want to work with.
I think you're right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And how can people connect with you?
Yes. So yes. So again, I work for Allstate, specifically at Toronto Danforth location. So you can search it up, and my name. I think my picture will pop up on the search bar as well.
Okay.
Or you can give me a call. Am I allowed to say my phone number
Yeah,
here?
yeah,
Or
absolutely. Your
okay.
email and your
Yes.
website, if you got that, and phone number.
So my phone number, you
Oh,
can call me at my business phone number at 416-447-5581, and my extension is 5013. Or you can shoot me an email at Sanchez, Sanchez, at allstate.ca.
wonderful. Well, thank you so much for giving us great information, because it's really valuable when people are in trouble.
No, thank
They'll
you.
be glad that they went with someone who cared and who is going to make sure they're looked after
Yeah,
properly from beginning to end. So thank you so much.
no
Grateful
worries.
to talk to you today.
And you know what? Even if you don't want to look for insurance, if you just want to know about your products, even like something like that, and you just want to get some education, you can just contact me and I can do that for you definitely.
That's great. I really appreciate it because,
No
yeah, just
worries.
again, someone who cares.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much.
Awesome. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.